Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another rousing game of Once Upon a Game. We're playing Fiasco tonight. Once Upon a Game is a one-shot story game show where we play mostly story games. Sometimes we deviate from that. Things that are fun. The most important thing is that we're playing games together, and we didn't do any prep for them. We're gonna design something. We're gonna play it tonight, and at the end, it's done. So, just like a beautiful bonfire. There's nothing left to burn. We're gonna go through the whole thing, and we're gonna use our imagination to just build up some crazy thing and put gunpowder and gasoline in it and see what happens. So that's what we're doing today. And the setup that we're doing for this bonfire is Fiasco by Jason Morningstar. This is one of the classics as far as story games goes. It's been around for forever, I feel like. So super excited to come in and get ready to play it. But before we do that stuff, I want to go ahead and talk to our two players this week. So I want to bring over a long time listener, first time caller, not even first time. Rooster, what's up?
What's up? What's up? I'm happy to be here. I had a lot of tornadoes here last night, a lot of excitement, but this is more exciting than that.
I can't get over that. That's insane. But yeah, I'm glad to have you. I'm gonna remove these arrows. It's awesome. And you've played Fiasco before, right?
Yeah, a long while back. I'm a little rusty on all the dice systems, but you can help me with that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I got you. Cool. And Ian.
Hello.
Sandtrek. Hey, good to see you again.
Yeah.
So,
it's a fun time.
Yeah, how you been?
I've been doing pretty good. I've started getting really into designing these games that I'm working on to the point where I think one of them is good for very, very basic play testing. Get it out and then see it all fall apart and then put it back together.
Yeah. Yep. That's the only way to do it.
Yep. Never played Fiasco before, but I do own the rule book. It's exciting.
Well, that's good. You're in the right spot to learn. Learning these games or knowing, pre-knowledge of how to play a game is never a requirement here in Once Upon a Game. We're just gonna play it together and we're gonna learn and see what happens. I've played and facilitated Microscope several times, so I feel pretty comfortable doing it and helping out with everybody today. And hopefully, let me see if I can actually make these dice a little bit bigger. Oh, I can. Look at that. That's amazing. Oh, that's so nice. So we have a bunch of dice in front of us. So before I get into the rules of of Fiasco, I have one big meta rule, and that's just that it's the X card in the veil stuff. That we're playing a game together. We are doing something that is intrinsically vulnerable in a way. We are putting we're conjuring ideas from our brain, and we're putting them out there for us to listen to and share and contribute on. Let's just be respectful. As always, try to remember to do best advice is to go with the first thing that's in your head. If you're kind of stumped, play the obvious. What's obvious in your head is not what's obvious to other people. And if someone says, hey, can we X card that out, or can we, can we fade to black on that scene and stuff like that? They're not pulling your chain. We're adults here and we're respectful, and we will abide by that, and we can figure things out if things start to break. All right, are we cool with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so let's get ready to play Fiasco. So the game, in order to play Fiasco itself is sort of like an engine, and we need to paint our Fiasco, and the paint job we chose for this one is the playset called Alma Monster. And what I would like to have now is I would like to have somebody read part of the Alma Monster sort of intro part. It's called the score. Would somebody like to read Sinister Semester for me? It's page 2. It's just those. How about since I just did the intro part, Sandtrek, how about you read the first paragraph and then Rooster can follow up and read the second.
Sure.
Cool.
A sinister semester. Parties, sex, drugs, booze, studying, and a touch of the weird. In a well-regarded public Ivy university, secluded away where most students are not allowed cars and there are no commuters, students and faculty have the same problems as anyone else at college. Only there might be a strange house or rumors of mysterious society. No way any of that will interfere with finals.
This playset assumes most players will be students, with maybe a professor or two. Additionally, there are some weirder elements, many inspired by Lovecraft, but nothing outright supernatural, unless you want there to be. The strange things tend to be clustered around the sixes, so in case your group wants nothing to do with the weird, you should be able to steer away from it pretty easily.
Nice. Thank you. So that's basically the gist of our game. It's sort of like I believe the tagline that I saw was "It's Animal House," if by H.P. Lovecraft.
Seems legit.
Some ways to think about this game here today. So we're getting ready now to start creating our characters. The first thing I'm going to do is grab all of these dice that we have here, and I'm going to roll them. So we're going to do random sides for them. Okay, so we got a bunch of sixes.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to get into some spooky shit.
Getting weird.
Yeah. So at this point, what we're going to do, we're going to look at our playbook here a little bit, and we're going to start developing our relationships. The way we do that is that each individually, we're going to grab one of the dice from the pool, black or white, and we're going to start fleshing out some things about our game. As you can see through the playbook, there's things called that are relationships, there are needs, and there are locations and objects. These are all things that can help flesh out relationships. And all relationships are made of two things. They're made of the first thing, which is sort of the topic. As you can see in the book, it's a larger black-faced black font type. And then there's some six other like subdomains underneath that domain. So what happens is, in order to solidify a relationship, is that someone must first pick one of those top domains, and then someone will follow up with a subdomain. In order to select those domains, you must spend one of these dice from the pool. So since we have no ones, there won't be any type of one for any of these options. However,
So
for the
no
rest of them,
academic relationships.
correct. But for the rest of it all, there's all of these dice to go. Once again, you can grab any of them right now. Relationship, needs, locations. You're not bound to create a relationship that's one of you. So for example, since we have it here on screen, Rooster, to your left is Ian, and to your right is me. Ian, to your left is me, and to your right is Rooster. So we're basically sitting in a triangle. But if you wanted to create a relationship, Ian, so for Ian, for example, if you wanted to create a relationship between me and Rooster, you can. You could describe that our relationship is by spending a die, academic, or whatever. Okay? So
Okay,
you're not bound to just the ones that affect you. That makes sense. All right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so with that all being done and said and out of the way, somebody would like to begin? If you're confused, I would be happy to start, and you can just see kind of what I do and just kind of follow along.
I'd like to suggest that Eric and Ian, I'm going to take this 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have a friendship.
Okay. I will start writing that down in just some text here. Ours is a friendship. We haven't defined what that is yet, and that is good. And also, you don't have to say, I would like to suggest, Fiasco is aggressively assertive. If you would like to do something like that, you can just be like, you guys are friends. That's
Just gotta do
available.
it.
I appreciate your hospitality. But this
I'm
is
just
not
a friendly guy.
yeah.
I can't help
Yeah.
it.
Fiasco works best when you don't play it like Mother May I, which I think a lot of people want to do to be nice. But this
You're
is actually
friends.
a game.
You can't
Yeah,
get out of it.
I know.
You can't get out of it. You're friends now.
But this is something that I know I'm trying to break that habit myself, and I've been a little bit more and more of that. And so when I see it, I'm trying to see what happens as well. Okay, so you've done friends. So everyone else has to go now. Ian, did you know what you wanted to do, or should I go?
So can I do an object?
Yes, you can. An object
Okay.
sits between people just like a relationship would. It's a definer of the relationship. This object is important to the relationship.
Yeah. So let's see here. We'll grab an object, and it'll be weird, and it'll be between you two.
Okay. You mean Okay.
Under the objects, it just says weird
Yeah.
for 6.
And so that's between Rooster and I's relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. I tell you what, no, it might be easier to follow along with. I'm gonna move the dice to where they're going. So I will just move them that way. Yeah, and then I will just write. So we can kind of better follow along.
Yeah.
We have an object, but we don't have a relationship defined yet. Cool. I'm gonna pick a relationship for something, and I'm gonna go with I'm gonna grab a 5, and Rooster, we're gonna start defining our relationship of community.
A weird community. I like it.
Yeah, we'll see what that is about. Okay.
I want to take my own notes.
Mm-hmm.
We still have all these 6s left.
Yes, we do. All we got to do is just keep chugging along. If you don't actually have to justify what these things are at this point, you can literally just throw things around at people.
Ian, I think you and I have in common a location.
Okay.
A private location.
Oh.
So that's one of these 6s.
Cool. So did you grab one of them and put it over there? And I will type location under that relationship.
Which direction am I taking it?
You can take it. I'm typing it. Just for standardization purposes, and since I got to focus on what gets shown up on screen, I'll just focus on doing the typing. Because once we're done the setup phase, there won't be any more typing.
Right.
Oh, sorry, it's a location between you guys. That's right. I'll put the location over there. Perfect. Community. Oh man, some of these are pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna define what our relationship is now, Rooster, between you and I.
Yeah.
We work
Wait,
for the
isn't
college.
it my turn now?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No
I
problem.
spoke out of turn.
Let's see. So friendship. I really want to do friends with benefits, but I can't do that. There's no 4s.
Oh, let me clarify one thing. The last die, the final die, is wild.
Okay. But So you got an object, you got a location. I don't think I'll define that location. Private. I'm gonna go with unmarked graveyard.
Sure.
Okay. So you just defined the location. Okay, so something between you guys' relationship is an unmarked graveyard?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. All right, now it's my turn.
Wait, what size is like the font for?
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I got you that. I got you that. It's 72. Oh, it just disappeared. I'll write it again. All right. So Rooster, I grabbed a 3 for our relationship. And that means we are writers for the college newspaper. I'll get rid of these shitty arrows. Okay. So something about us. We don't have to know our names. We don't have to understand exactly what's going on yet. But we're writers for the college newspaper. And there's an object that's important to our relationship. And just how you and Ian's, you don't know what your relationship is just yet. But you do know that an unmarked graveyard is very important. And the only thing we know about Ian and I's relationship so far is friendship.
Yeah, we're friends.
We're friends.
You say that like that's the weird thing, though.
Oh, Estani likes my shitty arrows. Thank you. Bud.
I want to define the weird object.
Go ahead.
You can.
Oh, man.
So we have a 2, 3, 5, and 6 available. Wish there was a way I could show you guys the objects in chat, but actually I might be able to copy them. I hope that doesn't violate anything.
I think our weird object is a confusing play about a king who dresses in yellow. That's one of these 6.
Yes.
Something about that.
I think that
Well,
since we write for the college paper, maybe we wrote this play.
Oh yeah. Maybe we either wrote the play or we're doing the review of it or something. Like we're doing the feature piece. Or maybe because we're writers. Maybe one of you wrote it. Maybe you wrote it, or maybe I wrote it, and the other person's doing the interview part, right?
I like to think that the play is like you don't know what's up with it, but like it's inherently weird, right? It's like something you guys just had this like you kind of imagined, like no one else knows about this play, but you guys definitely saw it. Definitely happened at the school.
Oh my god.
And you're like what is that? And like maybe you just see people who are in the play occasionally, and it was very vivid if it was a dream. But how could it be a dream if two people have the same exact one?
Yep, we're reviewing a play about Haster. Perfect. Oh, I love that. Cool. So we got a couple more things to figure out. Then we got so our relationship's fleshed out. Let's see. Yeah.
I want to do numbers. I want to do a need 6. I'm not sure which one to put. Let's put it in this one because this one's not defined.
A need to get the truth.
Yes, that's it. Yep. I got a need.
Need for speed.
Something like that.
There. Actually, I can fit everybody's stuff on the screen now. What if I do that? Cool. That's good. So we have a little bit more of our fleshed out relationship. So we have a need to get the truth. And now I need to figure out what that is. I think I'm going to I might define one of your guys' relationship. That might be a little fun.
Just a little bit. Little fun.
Just a little bit. That's a teeny amount of fun.
I'm disappointed we didn't get a 1 because an object's drugs would have been fun.
Yep. I was reading the same thing.
Yeah. But, this is fun about this game is it kind of restricts you.
The drug dealer addict relationship is really good.
Yeah.
But we still have a wild at the end of our choices, right?
Yeah, but we don't have a 6 to trigger the clandestine. So bummer. It's all right. Okay, so we still have to flesh out our friendship. Angers on to someone more popular. Relatives. Met at orientation. Still close. Oh boy. Yeah, we already spent all our 6s on other things.
Yeah. I mean, you could save this for the last one if you're really set on the 6 there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we're relatives.
Cool.
We might be
like siblings, cousins.
Cousins, I think.
Cousins, cool.
You guys are already friends, so maybe you were friends and then you learned about your family connection afterward.
Yeah, Leafington in chat also mentions the most very, very poignant lesson and the most poignant lesson you can take away from this game is if you really want drugs, you can still have drugs anyways. So, thank you, Leafington.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. So we were relatives in some way. Cool. All right. So we were relatives, and we have to get the truth about something. We still don't know anything about the relationship between you guys. You two.
Well, except for that it involves an unmarked graveyard.
Yeah. See, that would make the drug thing super good.
Yeah. But it's too late.
It's too late to apologize. Yep. So you guys will have to, at this
Too late
point,
to say goodbye.
Yeah. So the only things we haven't fleshed out yet that we have to finish up is we have to flesh out the need to get the truth, what that means, and then we also need to flesh out the details of the relationship between you two.
Yeah, there's 2 dice somewhere.
Yep, those 2 dice go between you guys, and then 1 dice goes between me and Ian.
Okay, so it's Rooster's turn, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think generally, though, I think you're supposed to go in a turn order, but I feel like sometimes people just kind of go like Fall of Magic style, where you go, but then you can't go until everyone else is gone, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to take this 3, and this is going to be school supplies between Ian and I.
School supplies.
So that'll go down here.
What? I'm sorry, what'd you do?
Picking an object. 3 school supplies.
No, Rooster, sorry, man. You can't actually pick an object because the location has already been formed for your relationship.
Oh,
and what you got to do is figure out an actual relationship between you guys at this point. So every pairing between 2 people is a relationship in some way that's detailed, and then either a need, an object, or a location.
Maybe you and I just see school supplies in a different way.
Hey, if you really want school supplies, you can still have school supplies. And I think actually that joke is a little bit redundant because drugs are school supplies.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the first thing that came into my brain when you said school supplies. I'm like, maybe we could have drugs still.
Yeah. Well, this is getting mature rated flagged.
We have in common something residential.
Okay.
Yeah.
Such relationship.
Yeah. So I'll drag down this 2.
Yep. I will write down residential. Residential. Cool. So. Oh, so I guess I get the wild one. That's not really fair. I didn't mean to make it that way.
Huh?
Astani asks, how can there not be a romantic relationship? Joke's on you, Astani. If there wants to be a romantic relationship, there can still be a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. It's really weird to play Once Upon a Game without romantic subplots, so we'll fix that.
Let's see here. So an unmarked graveyard. Okay, I think you and me with residential, we are former roommates glad to be rid of each other.
Okay.
Wow.
There's something to do with an unmarked graveyard, so
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Ooh, saucy. And then we need to get the truth.
About pick any of them.
I think I'm gonna flag the 5 as a 4, and get the truth about Professor Zamud's odd habits.
Zamid.
Okay, so now let's think about. Okay, so now we got all that stuff. I'm gonna put all the dice back into the middle of the pool because we're gonna need it in the next part of the game. But let's start thinking about our characters and their names and our relationships a little more now. All right. So, So I'm a writer for the college newspaper, and I'm related to you, Ian.
Yep.
Are you thinking brother and sister, or are you thinking brothers, or are you thinking cousins?
I think brother and sister sounds good.
Cool. Can I be the sister?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, I'm the sister.
I wanted to be sister.
We can be sisters. We can be fraternal
Oh, that's
sisters.
true. We can be sisters.
Also, if we're sisters, that could mean that we actually have an age difference, though.
Yeah.
And so, like, we're different levels in college, right? Like, I'm a freshman, or you're a freshman, or something like that, and the other one could be like a junior or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, we can play with that if we wanted to. That would work. Okay. So I'm gonna be Elizabeth. I need a good like white person name. White person last name.
Brown.
Brown. I mean, someone. Yeah.
Gray.
Like whose mom says I needed to speak to the manager.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I mean?
Abernathy, something like that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they had their house is really real. Yeah. Okay. Abernathy.
Yep.
Elizabeth Abernathy.
Well, I guess I'm a Abernathy too.
Oh, we could be cousins. Could have been.
No, I like
Pennington.
It. Remember, you said to be aggressive and go for it. You're doing it.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll be Daisy Abernathy.
I'm a freshman overachiever.
And I was adopted.
Oh.
Yep.
My notes are getting lengthy.
Yeah.
I think I'm Jim Reynolds.
Do you think what's our relationship like, Jim?
I think that maybe we specialize in different things of the paper, but we get assigned to work together for promotional things for the school, such as reviewing theater plays. So
Okay.
maybe we don't want to work together on that because we have totally different outlooks on things.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe you and I don't get along because I have some bad habits and you're driven with this need and I just don't have that.
I have that Clark Kent idea of freedoms of liberties, and maybe you have like a little bit more of a pragmatic. Maybe I don't know. Do you think you're a freshman, or what do you think? What are you thinking in terms of age? Because I'm a freshman. I know I'm a freshman. How do you want to play off that?
I'm thinking I'm an older guy, like a guy who's working on his master's, but not really. Probably been at the school like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, working on his master's is what I'm writing. Nice. So Daisy and Jim were former roommates. So that's interesting. That's a little saucy. I like it.
Oh, dang.
Maybe we were more than roommates.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yep. Yeah, that's a thing. But now you're glad to be rid of each other.
Yep.
Maybe it was like we started as roommates at a co-ed dorm, and then it became something more, and then we just couldn't live together.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
I mean, I feel like would like a man and a woman actually be paired up with each other? Like maybe we lived off campus, or probably not off campus, but
sure, maybe I have an off-campus place because I'm an older guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
and
we
then
can play
I
with that.
Pate, and then there's like probably a couple other people also, but
yeah. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. All right.
And then unmarked graveyard.
Yeah. Well,
that's where it started. Where it started.
we can figure out that the details of that in play, because now because that's what we're gonna do now. We're getting started. Here's the next part of the game. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start doing the scene part of the game. The way this works is there's two ways of doing this. You can either do you can dictate the outcome of a scene mechanically based on what type of die you get. But by doing that, everyone else at the table gets to play around with the pretenses of the scene. and basically set it up for you, and you just get to kind of be stuck in that spot and work your way out. Alternatively, you can start with the fictional positioning how you want it, but then you don't have a choice in what die you get, because everyone else gets to vote on which die you should get at the end of it. Ultimately, at the end, you're trying to get either like one particular color, because the higher or like negative way you go, you get a better outcome, because this game has outcomes at the end of it for your character in terms of your epilogue based on what you get. If you get mixed results of die, like you have black and white dice, they will subtract from each other, and so the closer you get to net zero, the closer you are to just having the worst story ever for your character. Just something to keep in mind. And then the last thing to do about Act 1 here is that we don't get to keep our dice no matter what. So if you say you want to do, if you say you want to get a white die, you don't actually get to keep that die. You end up giving it away, and we're going to do that. So because we have 3 players, we're each going to end up doing, I think, 2 scenes, if that's right. No. Wait.
I mean, it's whatever would normally
No, the
be.
number of dice. Yeah. Sorry.
Because
4
we
scenes. Yeah, each gets 2
4.
scenes. Yeah. So we do that, and then we do the tilt, and then we come back. All right. And then we do. I'll describe what the tilt is at the end. Yeah, I'll describe what the tilt is, and then I'll describe what Act 2 is, where we actually get to keep the stuff, and then we go. All right. So it should be pretty straightforward. If no one objects, I'll go ahead and go first.
No
just
problem.
give you an idea, unless somebody else really has something they really want to do.
Some vague ideas off in the distance, nothing concrete yet.
Sure, sure. Okay. You don't have to have other people in your scenes if you don't want to, right? Fiasco is very, very, very liberal in what it means for a scene. All right.
Yeah, and you can like tell other people to play other people or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have a scene, and here's the scene that I want to do. So we fade in on we have to name the school, guys.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna name it
Pine Creek.
Pine Creek sounds very prestigious.
Pine Creek. Well, I mean, I live in Oregon, so it's like everything's named like
Pine.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know, up in the woods, pine trees everywhere.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, it's just called Pine Creek because calling it Pine Creek University is it's bad. No one calls it Pine Creek University. It's just, oh, they went to Pine Creek. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So
just Pine Creek.
Just Pine Creek, right? Cool. All right. So we're going to Pine Creek. This is like our freshman class. I think this is like a gen ed class that we're in, and it just got done, and it's Professor Zamid's intro to English class.
Yeah.
Right? And we are relatives. Or maybe it's actually, I'm sorry, it's not an intro. It's probably something a little bit more advanced because I took advanced courses, so I caught up with you.
Like probably one below whatever I'm in, and I'm upset about it.
It's probably like esoteric American authors or something.
Jeez. So pretentious.
Yeah, super, super pretentious. So that's
Yeah.
the bell doesn't ring, but we hear the class is dismissed or whatever, and I come over to you holding my books and stuff, right? And okay. And we have a test coming up, right? So I look pretty confident about this test, but I want to hear what you're thinking. So I come up to you.
Oh, so we're in the same class?
Yeah, we're in the same class. But this is like an advanced class, and I got placed in it, right?
Yeah. And it's like, because it doesn't sound like a main. I mean, esoteric American author doesn't sound like a main sort of course or whatever.
No, this is an elective.
Yeah.
And furthermore, I think we see this is Professor Zamud, and I think it's close to midterms.
So
I think this might be our midterm.
Is it like a night class?
Oh, that's a good question.
No, it's a night class. Early in the morning?
It's a night class. He only teaches at night.
Yeah, of course it's a night class.
He only teaches at night.
This guy only does night classes.
Yeah, exactly. He only does night classes. And so I come up to you, right? I'm holding my books and stuff, and I'm immediately very, very like I sashay over to you. I'm very pretentious and say like, well, that was a really easy class today.
I kind of just like go, yeah.
Like you're not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I
I'm
mean-
like, yeah, yeah. That was pretty easy.
I mean, the metaphors in Poe's literature, I mean, it's frankly trivial. I have no idea why the professor keeps talking about him.
Yeah, isn't this supposed to be an esoteric authors? Like, I don't think Poe's very esoteric.
I know, and that's the weird part. For esoteric author class, I would thought we would be reading way more about Cantor and Vale, and I'm just naming off obscure authors, right?
And Wiggle Fredrickson.
Yeah, Fredrickson at the very least. But here we're reading Poe. That's so weird.
Yeah, you do realize I just made up that name.
Well, and
I say, yeah, but
look, I'm just saying that the professor's creepy,
Yeah, I heard rumors that he like looks down girls, like he's constantly staring at girls' boobs.
Ew,
It's
what
really
a creep.
weird.
I heard he doesn't sleep.
Doesn't sleep? Where'd you hear that?
Well, I have friends, they say that he rarely leaves his office. That's why his office hours are only around 11 at night.
Yeah, that is pretty weird.
All right, I think that's probably seen.
Yeah.
All right, so what die do I get? And whatever die this is, I get to give it away to somebody.
So it's basically like how well you did in the scene.
Yeah, you can just be kind of arbitrary at this point.
Yeah. What do you think, Rooster?
I'm leaning hard on a white 3 there.
Okay, and then I get to give that die, and thank you, Rooster. Thank you for suggesting it a white 3. You get the white 3 now.
Okay.
All right, that's my scene. Now, so one of you two get to go. If we want to go in order around the table, then it can be Rooster. We just go clockwise.
I think I have a scene in mind.
Sure.
Wait, let me be assertive. I have a scene in mind.
Yeah. Just personally, as a facilitator, I would kind of prefer. I think the game works actually better if you don't go around the table and you do it in terms of that Fall of Magic-y or whatever, where someone follows up with the scene they have to say, as long as someone else, as long as they already, didn't take their turn yet and everyone else had a chance to go, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, what I have in mind is, this is the same day. So maybe you're a little flustered because of that conversation you just had. But you and I have this assignment, so you've probably texted me and you're like, where can we meet up to talk about going to this play so that we can review it? We know the play is going to suck and neither of us wants to do it, but we have to do it. So we've talked over text extensively because that's the only way that you and I really talk to each other, because we don't really get along. And I've eventually just told you, look, just come to my apartment and we can talk about it there. So I think you're coming to my apartment, Elizabeth.
All right. What time of the day is it? So is it nighttime?
This will be like late afternoon the same day.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, okay. I come in and I brought us food.
Man, bring it over here. I'm like shoving stuff off the table.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of junk. I just throw it on the floor.
What does your apartment look like? Right? Is it classic dorm? Like classic frat boy?
I think it's very lived in because I've been in this apartment off campus partying for like 6 years.
I have a question. What is the one thing in there that is mine?
Oh shit, dude! Look at you.
Maybe you paid for some expensive furniture because you were like, Jim, you don't have any furniture. How can we live like this? And
oh my god! Of
Look,
course.
If you want a couch or a table, you can buy a table or a couch.
Of course, everything else.
Table, Jim.
Yeah. Of course, it's like a it's gonna be like it's for the coffee table. I set the food down. I'm like, oh, this is a nice coffee table. and like everything else around you was like off Craigslist. You know, it's like
Yeah.
super well worn.
But you say that about the table, and I just kind of side eye a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I guess it is a nice table. Yeah. So anyway, let's see what this is. What'd you bring me?
Oh, I just got some tacos. You know,
Oh man, great. I think that as I'm sitting down and opening things up, you begin to realize this entire apartment just reeks of drugs.
yeah.
Maybe you're not the type that would know which drugs, but you know that these scents come from drugs, and it's kind of bothering you a little bit.
Staney says they're beanbag chairs. Yeah, they're beanbag chairs.
Yeah. Around a coffee table.
Yeah, and I'm saying something like, oh, I hope you like the tacos. It's from that new vegan place, and then I go like, yeah, what's that smell?
I'm like, vegan place, man. Well, you know what? I got some hot sauce. Hold on, and I just like hurriedly go to the kitchen.
You just ignore my question.
Yeah, I just stand up and just take off. And I come back after a second, and I've got this like giant bottle of sriracha or something. I'm like dumping it on there.
Yeah, it's
like,
more sriracha than taco.
Smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And so you text me over here. Did you tell me what this was about? Like player to player? Like, did you tell me what this is about? Or
Yeah. You've probably been trying to get a hold of me for like a week or something to talk about this article.
I'm like,
and I've been dodging you, and eventually you got my number from somebody, and so you started texting me. And
Yes. I was like, man, it was you a really hard person to get a hold of. I had to ask 3 people. I had to call your dad.
I've got to talk.
He says that you need to call more.
You know what? He can call me. You know, I'm not.
Relationships are two-way streets. Yeah. Exactly. I call my parents once a day.
Yeah, some of us just don't have that kind of familiar relationship. You know, some of us are a little more relaxed with our life. And with that, I'm like finishing off the first taco, and like I just take the wrapper and just throw it in a corner.
I give you this real bad side eye.
Wait, no, here's what happens. So in the middle, you only got 2 tacos because you don't eat a lot. You got 2 tacos. You put them in the middle, and then you just start going for the next one.
Yes,
that's yours.
And I like was going for it, and you grabbed it out, like, you know, you just snatched it and started eating it without thinking. And I just put my hand back down on my lap or whatever, and and I go, yeah. So about this report, the play's opening tomorrow, and have you done any research? Like I asked, did you see my texts, my emails?
Look, I may have read your emails. I really didn't.
Yeah.
But the play clearly seems to reference something that was in some old books. I think that the main character of the play is some kind of a symbol representing something that's a little deeper than like a freshman playwright should be able to talk about. So I think it's kind of pretentious. At this point, you're probably thinking, this guy's full of shit. That's not what it's about at all.
No.
He's just making shit up.
And no. Okay, can I build on this a little bit? This is what happens. Yeah. You're actually looking over at a shelf, and you're literally just describing Harry Potter, because that's the book that's on the shelf.
There's this kid. Look, he's wearing jeans in the first scene, but at the next scene he's in a robe.
You imbecile!
I don't know. Well, how could somebody?
You imbecile! That's Harry Potter. That's my favorite book. You didn't even read anything about this. Ugh. I can't believe. How can I work with you?
You want to know why Harry Potter is there? Because you got it for me for my birthday, and I was like, no, I'm good. And I saw it when I was moving out, and I was like, no, I'm good. And you're like, have you read Harry Potter? It's like, oh, sorry, I lost it.
I probably read like the first 2 chapters or something out of boredom. I really don't know what the rest of it's about.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Awesome. Is that scene?
Yeah, I think that's scene.
Yeah. I think you deserve a black die. What do you think, Ian?
Yeah, I think you deserve a black die.
Yeah. All right.
So you
have to give that away to somebody?
I guess I have to give that to Daisy.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I want a white die. Tell me where I am.
Okay. So this is you don't get to keep this die. You still have to give it away.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just so you know that.
Well,
All
I
right.
want more black dice, so I'm making
Yeah.
less white die available.
So I look at you. You clever, clever girl. All right. So let's see. I want to see something about Jim's and Daisy's relationship. All right.
Yeah.
So Jim, how can we make this hilarious? Yeah, because you guys have to see each other again when you don't want to. You obviously are bumping into each other. Is it the library?
I think what's happening is like you and me are talking because like you and me are talking and you're like, yeah, I have to go with like I went over to this guy's apartment, it smelled weird and all this stuff, and I was like, it's like, oh, and it was like, yeah, and it was like, man, I really wish I got someone pick like I had someone else as my partner for this, and I was like who is it? I might know him. It's like Jim, and I was like, Jim who? Jim Reynolds, and I was like, and so I'm coming over you like, stay the fuck away from my sister.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
So you're gonna go confront. Yeah. So you're gonna go confront him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I'm in the middle of like grading some papers as like a student assistant for like a history teacher or something.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'm
I
just
mean,
kind of chilling out with a stack of
to be
papers,
fair,
and you burst
I
into this
kind of-
empty lecture hall.
I feel like I kind of established a lot, so I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
We're in a
I
library.
mean, it's
right?
pretty good though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're confronting them in the library.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think I'm just sort of like sitting there, just sort of staring at some notes and then like listening to some music, and I'm just not doing anything. and I sort of look over, I see you sit down, and then like I pack up my shit and like go over and sit down in front of you, and I'm like, hi Jim.
I've got a stack of papers I'm taking out of my bag, and I'm like, oh, hey. I put it down very quietly. Then I just leave my hands on the table.
So I hear you're gonna write something for the newspaper.
Well, I write a lot of stuff in the newspaper. You know that.
I mean, I know you take credit for a lot of stuff.
Well, I do a lot of hard work.
Okay, let's. We're not gonna have this conversation now. So you're partners with my sister.
Is that who she is? I didn't get her last name. Oh, I guess I should have noticed the resemblance. It really doesn't seem that obvious to me.
Yeah, I think like I'm Asian and you're white.
Yeah, I'm just BSing you, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I'm adopted. You know this.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, you're gonna have to find another partner.
I mean, I would, but it's kind of assigned, right?
We kind of can't have our shit connected any more than it already is. You understand me?
Well,
See, she's
I'm not
already
gonna-
pretty suspicious about some things. At least I think she is. But if she...
And look, I'm so tired of you being obsessed with like digging into stuff all the time, right? Like things are simpler than they appear. If you just learn to let things be, you'd be a happier person. And with that, I'm starting to grade
so
the first
angry. I
paper.
look like I'm about to shout, but then I don't, and I just like move in real close, and I say, "You fucking killed someone."
I'm probably tired of hearing this. Like,
Yeah, you're like, "Nah, come on, man. That's not something that just fucking goes away."
At this point, I'm just writing on a paper.
Oh my god. Okay. I think that's probably seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, give that die away.
Give it to you, because you don't got no die. It's lonely.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. It's back to moi. Somebody give me a scene. I know. I want to get a black die.
I think the scene is the play. You guys are at the play. At this like mysterious play. Like it's a strange object, so I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously I feel like it's in an auditorium, like neither of you have ever heard but used before. It's like, somewhere in the back, like an old one. There's maybe like, 30 seats.
Yeah.
And I think you see like a few other people, like probably like 7 or 8 other people there. But you never recognize them before. You don't really notice them. And I think, you guys sort of sit like in the middle, and then obviously Elizabeth is there first.
Of course.
And then Jim comes like just before they're about to play.
How many people are at this place right now? Is it full?
No. There's probably like 10 or 15 people, including you.
Okay.
So like
Sure.
it's kind of weird. It's like this dinky little thing. It's just you have to do it anyways. Like maybe it's in town. Like it's like
I like
closest. Huh?
I mean, it's not really my place to say, but I kind of really like it being on campus.
I like that. Like it's an auditorium that like is almost
that we didn't even know existed. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't even know it existed.
Because it's just no one uses it. Yeah. It's on the other side of campus. It's just weird. Yeah. Okay.
There's probably like some actual like bigger play going on that the majority of the other people are doing or something.
Yeah.
Or probably a movie night, right? Like not an actual play, but like a movie night, and they're like, we're gonna put on this little thing.
Okay. So so the play's getting ready to begin, and that's when Jim shows up, and I'm obviously upset as well. I'm like, late as always, Jim. Gosh.
I'm like, the auditorium's all dark, and I've got my cell phone out, like, as a light trying to find you. So I'm the obnoxious guy running through the theater, like, pissing off everybody. I'm like, oh, and then I come over to you, and I sit down. All of a sudden, I take out my books. And it's like, this is just normal for me. Like, I don't understand. Like, it doesn't occur to me that I'm upsetting people by being disruptive.
You always smell. You need to sit further away from me, please. I imagine you smell very much like the drugs.
No, I look straight at you, and I just start fanning myself with my notepad.
Like you're unbelievable. God, this person. All right, let's shut up. The play is about to begin. And I think what happens is that I think where the scene ends though is the play starts getting going, and it's a really, really esoteric, weird play.
I like. Can we all just like to get an idea of this play? All describe like, just in turn, like just some stuff about it.
Sure.
Sure.
I can start. Start.
Okay.
I think that most of the people that are here are like 100% into this. Like, it's like
they've seen the play a bunch of times before.
Yeah, like they're enthusiasts of this guy's work or something, even though it's just like a student or whatever.
Yeah,
like we don't know that much about him,
Yeah, they're way too enthusiastic about this performance.
Yeah. So I elbow you, and I'm like, these people are more excited than those people that were at that Rocky Horror Show I went to last week.
Yeah. Right? This has quite a cult following. And,
I feel like, I feel like there's a lot of moments where like people like it's supposed to be like a king, and sort of like back in time, and there's a bunch of moments where people just like get out trash cans and start banging on them for no reason.
Yeah, it's this really, really weird avant-garde play. And I think about like dawning near the end of the first act, I think we see Professor Zamud like get on stage and ruin it.
Oh, really?
He tells people to be like get out of here, don't watch this play, right? Get out of here. And then all of a sudden like he has a heart attack. And I think that's when they have to stop the play.
But does the audience think this is part of the show?
Yeah,
Are they
and then
so enthusiastic?
yeah,
that they're like, oh
and they
yeah,
start
this is just
yeah,
they
and
get up and start
and everyone starts
clapping.
clapping, and I think that's
and then the curtains just close.
yeah, and
but before you two can have a chance to do anything.
yeah, and that's the I think that's the end of the scene. And thank you so much for those sweet jives there, Ian. I'm giving you this black die.
Thank you.
And yeah. Real quick, also Ian, can you do me a quick favor? Technical thing. Can you go in Zoom and go to test computer mic and speakers, and turn off automatically adjust microphone?
Okay. So
Yeah.
in the settings.
Yeah. Go to settings. And while that's going on, is it your turn?
I think
Well, it's you or Rooster's turn, I think, right?
Yeah, we can Rooster go. So I don't see settings anywhere.
Just it's one of the up arrows. If you hit the up arrow next to mute and go to audio options and hit test microphone mic, test computer mic and speakers.
Okay, thank you.
it's hidden away.
Yeah. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Okay. So my turn's done. It's your guys' turn.
I'd like to start a scene.
Okay.
I think that you two are showing up at your next class that's supposed to have Professor Zamud, and he's not there. And maybe a TA comes in and
Is it you?
eventually says,
Is it you
yeah,
called on short
it's
notice
me.
to fill it
sure.
in?
Yeah, sure. And I'm like, I just stand in front. Okay, I'll start the scene. I just kind of like walk in front. I don't really give a damn. And then I just kind of say, yeah, we can't find the professors, so class dismissed. And then I just shuffle away.
Well, I'm like, hey, excuse me. What about we have a midterm. What about the midterm? That's tomorrow.
Meanwhile, like when you're saying that, like I'm already in the middle of packing up my shit, and then you say that, and I kind of like unpack it and sit down, grumbling.
Yeah. Did he say it? Did he leave you anything about the midterm?
I stop at the door because I'm like about to walk out, and I've got the door open.
Yeah.
And I say, look, just read your book. You know, that's what it all comes down to. Open your textbook and read whatever chapter you were last doing, and then do the next one after that. And then I dart out of the door.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want any part of this.
I imagine as you like quickly get out of there, one of the other people in the class completely remarks, being like, "God, that guy smells like weed."
I kind of just nod my head, and meanwhile, you're like, "Oh."
Yeah. No, I think someone else in class or whatever, like, once again, we also hear, like, maybe it's the same people, right, who said, like, I can't believe the guy smells like weed. And then I think as they're also leaving the place, they just casually remark as we're packing up their stuff, being like, I cannot believe that Daisy dated him. Right?
Yeah, and I just like, and I'm just, I just keep moving. I just keep moving. Like I stop for a second and I keep moving.
Yeah, you go by me and I stop for a little bit, right? It's not my scene though. This is Jim's scene. So what do you do, Jim?
I think I sit down in the next room, which is like the professor's office.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like taking a bag out of my bag, like a baggie out of my backpack. And I'm like, man, I wish these people would leave me alone. And I think that maybe you two have to chase me down to find more answers about your midterm studying, like get some real information from me.
Yeah.
So you come into the office.
Yeah, of course we do. Of course because we have to go to the office. So, because we want to see if the professor is actually there or something. And, so we arrive. We just barge into the office with the door was closed and be like, Professor, and then we see you. And it's like, huh?
I'm like brazenly like on top of the table and everything. There's a bunch of green laid out. And I'm like, I just quietly put it down.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, can't even wait a second. You're like one of those guys who masturbates on trains, aren't you?
Oh, well, look, trains are really relaxing. So I lean back in my chair like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. God, you're the worst type of person.
I can think of worse.
Listen, we're here because we need I guess Elizabeth needs information on the midterm, and I guess I do too.
Well, could you
gotta
show
get a
me your
good grade.
textbook? You know, it's been a while since I took this class, but maybe I'll remember.
I kind of just like throw it on there.
You probably hit my hand a little bit, and I'm like, ah.
It probably lands right on the weed.
Oh man, no! Why'd you have to do that? Come on, you want my help? Oh,
Oh.
I've got it all like in a pile, and I'm like, and I open the book, and I say midterm, right? Well, let's see if I remember. And I like thumb very carefully to a specific chapter, and I say, look, I know you were on chapter 6 last week, or you should have been, but the trick is the midterm goes up to chapter 13. That's where I had trouble with the midterm, was you had to do all those chapters basically in a cram sesh.
What?
Yeah, I dropped a lot of speed that week. Look, it's not easy, but I think you can do it. I remember on this test that I got like a 78, but I made it. And this is probably like the first time you've seen me so intense about something academic.
Yeah.
But it's like I was super into this class when I took it personally.
The last half, I mean, I didn't even think I'd have to study those. It's just a bunch of bullshit about ancient religions and transcribed from other languages. You know, something very obviously Lovecraftian. Like it's just a bunch of bullshit books written in weird tongues.
Yeah. That that has no literary value.
Look, the
sure.
trick is that in all these chapters and all this required reading that it mentions and cites, each of these things has a symbol associated with it, and the midterm covers a lot of those symbols. So you may be able to get through this pretty quick if you just try to quickly find and identify the symbols that are in the material.
I just say, like, you know, if I wanted to sign up for advanced linguistics, I would have signed up for advanced linguistics.
Oh, well, you know, it's about the cross-discipline thing, right? Like the world can't rely on specialists. It needs some generalists too, right?
Now we gotta do this, all these extra classes, and we have to go watch that play again. As I sigh.
Again?
Yeah.
And I kind of just look pointedly at Jim.
So yeah, I think they're doing a 6-show run. I'm not real positive on that.
Yeah. Okay. Scene?
I think before Elizabeth, you're like, oh, I have to get to my next class, and you leave, and then I say, I kind of like look left and right, and I say,
and you stick around a little bit. Yeah.
I'm like, listen, Jim, I'm not doing so well in school. I need to pass this test. And I kind of like lean in, do you got any Adderall?
I stare at you for like a solid 10 seconds.
Oh.
It's like, fucking Jim. Don't fuck with me.
You're serious. Okay, hold on. Maybe if you hadn't thrown my weed everywhere, maybe this would be easier. I start going through this pile on the other side of the table where I've just stacked up a bunch of crap. And I'm like, take out another bag. Look here, I'll spot you this time, but next time it'll cost. But I'll spot you this time. Yeah, I slide over like a little bag with like 4 pills in it.
Yeah, I just grab it and I say thanks.
And remember, pace yourself. Don't take it all at once, or else your cram session is going to be like 30 minutes.
Nice, love it. Okay.
See, that can be drugs.
And that's all right.
Sex and drugs made it in, even though we didn't roll for it, right?
Yeah. All right. So we're at the top of the hour. So I think we're going to go to our first break. And then we'll come back and we'll finish up Act 1. We all got a couple more scenes and then Tilt and then Act 2. And go from there. All right, guys. So we'll be back in 5 minutes.